welcome to Show Me the Money Rugby League TV. Myself and Joe are going to do just a small segment, a little bit aftermath of the World Cup, not getting in depth about a final or anything, but just a bit of information about which club teams were well represented and how those players did, focusing on the NRL teams. And Joe's done a lot of research. Some quite interesting things come out of it, really.
Some crazy things come out of it. The top three NRL teams that provided players for the World Cup, we've got 15 for Parramatta in third. We've got South Sydney Rabbitohs with 17 players. And then number one, the World Club champions. Well, oh God, I've predicted the future there. Sorry, I didn't mean the NRL champions, maybe the World Cup champions in future.
We're not writing him off just
Sorry,
yet.
Saints fans, yeah. Not to, my apologies there, but 19 players for Penrith, which is just mind-boggling, isn't it? Mind-boggling.
Yeah, and we've not got the numbers on Super League, but we don't think any Super League teams had more than 10. Someone might correct us, but we've just had a quick tot up, and 19 players is incredible. It just shows how strong. I mean, even the other two, 15 and 17, what's
crazy.
The strength in the squads, isn't it? And it's not like they've all played for one or two countries. There's quite a distribution as well, isn't there?
There's a massive range, and out of my fun fact is, out of the 19 players that played in the World Cup, that play for Penrith at club level, 17 of them, Jim, 17 of them made it past the group stages, which shows they're not only just providing players at every level, they're providing the best players on
and having an impact on the teams they're playing for.
Yeah, it's honestly mind-blowing. We've got three for Australia, 6 for Samoa, 3 for New Zealand, 3 for Fiji, 1 for Lebanon and 1 for Italy. So apart from Lebanon and Italy, you've got 17 players there, Jim. The likes of obviously Cleary, Crichton. You've got James Fisher-Harris for New Zealand. You've got Katoa, Vilame Kikau, Api Coruscant. You've got the big, and of course the man of the World Cup, Jerome Luai. In my view, and I think in most of our views as well.
And even Italy, to be fair, came up with that. Arguably a shock result against Scotland in the very first game, am I right?
Yeah,
so
they did.
They've had influence throughout. I mean, Lebanon probably surprised a few as well with how competitive
massively beating obviously Ireland, which we had actually the opposite. I think the bookies did, the Australian bookies predicted Lebanon, but everyone in England thought Ireland
that
should win.
That was a very split, wasn't it? A lot of the
depended where you come from in the world. That one, So no, we just thought we'd highlight this to our audience in the world and just saying, I think as we get further in the season, we're going to do more. I'm going to get deeper into what Penrith do, and obviously viewers from Australia and obviously New Zealand, all these countries that know more about Penrith. Obviously we do. We know them as double reigning champs, going for a third. Got the final 3 years ago. But I think as an English nation, we need to look into what this club are doing, because it's frankly outstanding. It's mind-boggling. 17 past the group stages, 19 altogether. Have you heard of any sport, Jim? You know your sports, don't you? Have you heard of any sports ever doing that? Any club team providing that on a World Cup stage?
I mean, I suppose if we look at the Football World Cup now, you immediately think of Man City. How many have they got featured in the World Cup? I don't know, but it'd be that would be, you'd argue that they are regarded as the top club team, or certainly one of the top 3 in the world. It'd be interesting to see how that crosses over. It'd
actually be a good. But the thing that's shocking about this, that I don't think Man City can claim, most of these lads are homegrown. It's these are produced
coming through their system.
I think there's a couple that Api Coruscant didn't they brought. There's a couple that they brought, but in general, most of these players
they're coming through.
Their academy system. Their academy system is produced. I think I should have gone a bit deeper, and I apologise to viewers. And if you know, please comment and make it even more outstanding. But I think probably I'd say 12 or 13 of these players are homegrown players.
Well, I heard during the week off a coach that an Aussie coach that they've got 6,000 children, under 18s in their system.
And what's that compared to what do you?
I don't know, but there's no way on earth a Super League club has not even remotely close. And interesting as well, which leads on to how the future of international rugby looks. And we've seen Samoa and Tonga, rise.
Yeah.
And Fiji are probably the team that a lot predict that come the next World Cup they're going to be stronger, because out of those 6,000 young people in the Penrith system, 70% of those are of Polynesian heritage. So they are.
Bloody hell, Jim! Stats of the day.
Well, yeah.
I've come with the stats, and you've just done me.
I've been told
you've done me with the best stat I've ever heard.
But that just shows that these NRL clubs are setting up their satellite academies and junior systems, a bit like Man City do. Man City have got...
They're getting there, aren't they?
Academies in Leeds, in Manchester, in down south, where they get, they go talent spotting. They've got them now set up in Fiji, in Samoa, in Tonga, and they're getting, the young future stars into their system early. 70% Polynesian.
It's great. It's amazing. Honestly, it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing what they're doing. I think English sport, St Helens, the Leeds, but they're known as our top, Wigan, so I apologise, they're probably known as our top producers of players, would you say, in general? Obviously every club provides some, but that's nothing on this level. And
Wigan might go as far and nick them off the league clubs, the leagues, the minors, Rangers, I think so. But to go, they're literally setting up all satellites in different countries to get these athletes coming through.
And I think Hull have done something with the what are they called again? Where Barrow, White, the Cumbria. They've set up in Cumbria and setting up some. So I think it's starting to be put in place. But if this isn't not a kick up the arse, a bit tough, but this is not a sign saying we need to spread the word of rugby league and that it is possible. That look at what Penrith have done, and they've done it by themselves. Obviously, South Sydney Rabbitohs, I think, provided to more clubs in general, but Penrith are producing the elite. Whatever they're doing, please study, please admire. They deserve all the credit in the world. Yeah, I'm speechless. I got deeper on it.
Interesting. Really. I mean, and I'm sure some people go, well, it's pretty obvious. They're the best team in the NRL. That's the best league in the world. But I was surprised at how these players are distributed through different countries as well.
It's not.
And it's.
It's not all Australia. It's not all New Zealand. It's all the elite teams except England. They're provided to all the elite teams except England, and they're killing it. So, fair play to Penrith. Hi, it's me and Jim in the future. We've actually done a bit of further research on the amazing Penrith side and what actually set the foundation, or what some people think it is. Over to you, Jim.
Well, yeah, we got Craig Harrison was well aware of this situation. That 2011, Gus Gold went in there as a job of general manager and made it clear that he was thinking I think he named 5 years plan, but certainly going for the next decade and putting things in place to really bring through their own young players, not so they could stay within the salary cap and not constantly rely on signing players on big money. He was there for 8 years. During that time, you could see signs of it coming through. They didn't have immediate success, but that was never what his claim was.
Yep.
And then the fruits of his labour have clearly become more apparent over the last few years. But these players that have come through were all ones who he got £22 million investment to set up an academy with all the top of the range facilities and get all those young players coming through, and most of those names there were part of that.
Yeah.
So we've got to
tip your hat to Gus
Gold and the system he put in place, which, as most things do, probably took a little bit longer, but now it's there, isn't it? And they're just constantly now built on that, and they're producing more and more players coming through, and a system which allows him to have top quality within the cap.
Yeah, I think homegrown players, Super League homegrown players.
IMG, isn't it?
Exactly. IMG have probably looked at this and gone, they've got something there. Homegrown players within your own setup, your own cap. It's a salary cap sport at the end of the day. build you. It's an incentive, isn't it, to build your own? You've got Saints who are pretty much all their own grown. I think there's definitely a system there that I think some of the other clubs probably need to look at. Find a way to set up a good foundation and watch the fruit of your labour grow and watch it grow year after year.
And a lot of it is having the balls to invest that money, knowing that there's not going to be any immediate return. It's very easy to go, well, let's spend 200 grand on this player. He might be the difference to get us from 8th into the playoffs. Whereas having the confidence and trust that if we invest the money in youth and our facilities and our scouting systems, then in the longer run, it will be more fruitful. Sadly, our sport can be very short-sighted. Coaches are under pressure, chairmen are under pressure for next season, or even next week. You know, it takes a bold chairman and a bold club to really invest in a 10-year plan, and a lot of clubs play at it a little bit, and you know they might do one or two things that will help, but what he introduced at Penrith was going all in on a system which has proved to work.
So I think the big question, if anyone knows anything more about this and what Gus Gold did, I think it is up for debate. I think it is up for debate whether it was him or others, but from what we've seen, Gus Gold, the man, well done. You're on TV every night. You deserve to be. You've proven what you can do. Again, Penrith outstanding. Homegrown players. I think the key of it all, Jim. Saints. You've got the mighty Leeds side. You've got the mighty Man United sides of the past. The sporting world. If you produce your own, you normally do. You normally do well. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you for watching. Penrith outstanding, and we'll see you next time.